Hello everyone, welcome back. This is Dunk, and this is a video I'm making about an update to Terraformacraft Plus. I'm going to explain some of the new features we have today and demo them to you a bit. First, I want to talk about food. So there have been a few changes to food that I've been making. I've adjusted the taste profiles of a lot of food, mostly to make them stronger. So you'll see things like seaweed here. It says salty, as you might expect. We got lemon here that's sour. These mushrooms are savory. So is this beef here. There are a few other things that I'd like to show you with that. So previously, things like raw meat. You could not eat raw meat previously. It just wasn't allowed to happen. But as you may see right now, I can totally do that now. However, you get your hunger goes up less when you eat uncooked food. This is actually true for all foods. Cooked foods now restore about 25% more hunger than they used to, and raw foods about 50% more on cooked foods, 25% less on raw foods compared to previously. Additionally, if you're eating something that previously you weren't allowed to eat raw, so raw fish, raw meat, including beef, mutton, pork, those sorts of things, if there is decay on it, then you have a chance of getting a poison debuff, which over 5 seconds will do about 100 damage to you. And the chance of getting poisoned is 4 times the decay rate, so at 25% decay and above, guaranteed to get poisoned. The red mushroom here actually will always poison you when it's raw. It is based on a mushroom in real life that is toxic. So I decided to make it so that if you try to eat this raw, yeah, we get this poison 2 debuff. That ended up actually doing about 170 damage. So yeah, that's what you can expect if you eat raw food, and that's with every bite. So you should either cut the decay off as much as you can, or cook it before you eat it, and that will turn out better for you. In addition to these changes with how taste works, I've adjusted how we determine how good food is for you, like how much you enjoy the food. So previously, every player on every world was given their own unique profile of tastes that they liked. As you can see here, sweet, sour, salty, bitter, savory. However, now each type of food, like protein, fruit, vegetable, grain, and dairy, has its own profile of what works best for it, and that profile is mixed with your individual profile to determine what kinds of tastes work best for that type of food. So the types of tastes that will be good on this beef are not going to be the same as would be good on an orange, for example. And of course, if you mix and match foods into a meal, the profile that will work best for that meal is going to be a combination of the different profiles of the foods that make it up. So that's something to keep in mind. We also have 2 new crops getting added this time. So we have pumpkins. Finally, you can now grow pumpkins. This does mean that pumpkins will not spawn like they have been previously, and like they do in vanilla. You will have to find them like a regular crop, but they are a renewable resource now. We also have melons added, so we can take a look at. Oh yeah, see, we're in survival here, so that's going to disappear. We can plant all our melons and see what that looks like. And I believe I'm also going to turn on debug mode here. As we are gonna, well, yeah, this is going to be annoying. You know what? I'm going to show you what these look like. I'll show you what these look like in a bit. Because there's some other things I want to show you, and skipping ahead months into the future is going to kind of mess that up. So before we get to looking at what these look like over time, I want to talk about some temperature stuff. So, I've noticed that it can sometimes be a bit difficult to help you deal with temperature. You can see on the right here we have our thermometer. We're actually in a very nice temperature right now. It's very temperate. It's actually right in the middle of the comfortable zone. But that may not always be the case, and you may be in a position where it's quite hot and you don't really have anything you can do about that. And so I've added a way that you can give yourself a temporary buff to your heat resistance. And that is by drinking some water. So if we drink this jug, you can see we have 2 minutes of heat protection, +1. This little icon we have for that. This is not a potion. Oh, let's go in the future. I don't want it to be nighttime. This is not a potion effect, so we're not getting like squigglies and all those annoying little particles. It shows up here and it does affect you. I don't know if you noticed, our temperature bar did increase at the top. But yeah, it's not going to give you any annoying overlays. It's just, you can see it by opening up your inventory. Heat protection +1. We have 1.5 minutes left. And along with that, we also have the ability to protect ourselves from the cold. And so we can put our chopped ebony logs. And I did take these. I mean, we have the texture for these. These currently aren't obtainable in-game. You can get them from the creative menu because they do exist. All the ebony blocks exist for the ebony tree, which will be added at some point in the future. See, we light this fire though. Now we take a look. Look, we're actually getting cold protection, and for every second that we are near this fire, we get an extra second of cold protection added over here. And if we walk far enough away, you can see it starts to go down again. So this cold protection will increase up to 2 minutes, won't increase beyond that. So by hanging out near a fire or a forge, 7 blocks from a fire, you get this cold protection. So that might help you out, if you want to like sit near a fire, get yourself warmed up, get prepared. Then you have 2 minutes where you actually have a bit more resistance to the cold than you otherwise would. So I think that's nice. This allows, it's 2 different ways. One of them you get instantly, 2 minutes all at once. One of them you do have to, rack up over time. You have to accumulate the points of cold protection. However, when you're next to a fire, you are automatically the temperature won't go below comfortable. It may go above it, but it won't go below comfortable when you're near a fire, so there is that aspect of it. Whereas with water, you still might be far too hot after drinking some water if you don't have proper equipment for it. So those are 2 new additions. We also have water bottles made of glass. So the water bottles that you can make with the glass blowing technique that I added a couple updates ago, a couple major updates ago, I mean. Those water bottles do stack. They only restore about half as much water as a jug. However, you can hold like 64 of them in one slot, so there is that advantage to them. Additionally, they can't break. However, they will only give you 1 minute and 30 seconds of heat protection. Okay, so I wanted to show that because I wanted to be able to, drink the water, show you what's going on here. Before we hang, into creative mode, turn on debug mode so that we're not gonna, starve and die of thirst when we are skipping time ahead. All right, hello pig. So let's add, I don't know, like 180,000 ticks. Oh, and we can see these have started to grow. So we have our melon here. We have our pumpkins growing. It looks like if I do that one more time, we are probably going to hit. Let's actually go to daytime. They're probably going to get to full growth. Hello? Set the time to 1,000. Okay, yeah, so that time set day we just did not work out so great. Yep, there they go. Because that took us back in time, and these plants are like, what am I doing here? Anyway, yeah, so now these are fully grown. So let's break them, pick up what we got here. Actually, ended up getting an extra pumpkin seed from that. Let's grab all our melons. So you can see, actually, that's weird. Why aren't they stacking like this? Sometimes weird stuff happens when you're in creative mode. Let's get back into survival for a sec. Come on, guys. Okay. Yeah, not entirely sure why they're doing that. I've had that happen sometimes. Shouldn't be that big of a deal. Let's get our knife and our melon, and we can get some of this melon out of that, which is our food. Let's grab all of that, and our pumpkin, same as normal. Something about the melon, though. When you eat it, our water actually goes up a little bit as well. Not much, but a bit. And there are a few other foods which can do this. For example, oranges, I think, give you a bit of water when you eat them. There might be another one, but I can't remember offhand. I'll update the description with all the details on that. And you can also check out the changelog on the downloads page. So we have that. Melons are also the first fruit-type food group item that can be grown as a crop in farmland. So that's pretty cool. And, okay, so I think that is everything here that I wanted to show you. We do have one more thing that I am adding in this update that we are going to go take a look at right now. And I want your feedback on this, guys. And it is the first of the steps I'm taking to convert trees into using the new branch mechanics. So there is a type of tree that I have worked on. It is not the ideal tree for the branches to be working with. Okay, this terrain doesn't want to load. That's nice. Oh, there it goes. And maybe you can start seeing them out of the corners of your eyes. Oh, hello lag. All right, here we go. It's the pine tree. So this is actually kind of, like, if I turn up debug mode right now, though, it's going to kill me. But this is an example of a pine tree. So conifers are a bit difficult because they tend to be pretty, well, they're pretty straight up, and they tend to be kind of tight with the branches. Although, unlike, say, like a spruce or a fir or something, they're not as often like perfect cones. They do kind of ball out and clump up. So I tried to replicate that a little bit. If we had, we could make an axe right now and chop it down and see what that's like. So let's make an axe. Something to note is that these aren't actual leaf blocks here, just because I started to realize that having too many real leaf blocks on these trees would actually make them really far bigger than I wanted them to be. So these are actually just like the branches here that just grow leaves on them. And of course, the fact that pine trees really shouldn't be losing their leaves in the winter is fine with that. Whereas other trees will become barren in the winter months. But let's see. Let's just let's chop down this tree. Let's chop it down right here. Why not? So it's going to take about the same amount of time as it would normally to chop down a regular tree. And it drops all these logs. You'll notice these are the old log items. And we got 24 of them for that tree. Along with some sticks, because the tips of the branches do drop sticks. And there would have been a small chance that we got a sapling out of that, but we didn't. I may adjust the drop rate of saplings because there aren't really any leaf blocks on them. You know, they will have to drop saplings when you cut them down. And I'd like to make it around maybe like one sapling on average per tree. I'm not sure how that's really going yet. I haven't spent a lot of time chopping down pine trees. However, there are two forms of most types of trees. And there is still a pine tree that generates with the old style, still has the thick logs, which will still drop the same way as before, still has leaf blocks, so you can get pine saplings if one of these spawns, as normal. So, like I said, I've just been beginning with adding the new types of generation for different trees. Obviously, you know, I've been doing my best. Tell me what you guys think. Tell me if you think it looks like a pine tree, what pine trees look like in your area, how you think I did. It was pretty difficult, I think, here to come up with something that, you know, that I felt looked right. I did actually have one that was much more cone-shaped, actually looked pretty good. But after looking at some pine trees online and some pine trees that grow in my area, oh, that's a bit of lag. I found that pine trees tended to look not so cone-shaped. So I tweaked the algorithm a little bit to make it a little, grow a little wider. And I'd like to know, stop that. I'd like to know what you think about all this. So please leave a comment, let me know, and I hope you guys enjoy this update. I should be posting it soon, ready for you guys to download. I'll leave a link in the description. And once again, guys, thanks for watching.